It's funny. By the way, so hello. We're live.
Welcome to the first 10 seconds of Marie from the Block live ever. Very happy to just be having a third of the screen here because I have two internet buddies / met them once in real life / people who helped onboard me onto everything that we're talking about. I've got Drew Austin here, who recently hooked me up with Knights of Degen. So that's my fourth NFT collection, which I'm now a part of, and I'm really excited because I'm big into sports.
There we go.
I have Alex Taub from Upstream. They're both actually part of Upstream. Alex, do you prefer to have your last name pronounced Taub or Taub?
It's Taub.
Taub, there you go. That's the German the pronunciation. So I'm good with that. The AU
means dove.
Yeah, it does. It does mean dove. Yeah. Guys, before we get into what you are doing in the whole crypto and blockchain realm and everything, let's talk about what happened yesterday. So yesterday was Thursday, November 18th, Scorpio season, and also my granddad's birthday. But
happy birthday. Thank
you. Slightly less importantly than my granddad's birthday, something happened at Sotheby's, and I, as a poor journalist, thought it would be really cool to join a group called Constitution DAO. We'll get to what DAOs are later, but basically two 20-something dudes who thought it would be funny and really awesome to buy one of, I think, only 11 remaining copies of the US Constitution. And of those 11, only 2 remain in privately held hands. Mm-hmm. And one of them was up for auction. This philanthropist from New York, Dorothy something or other. And she has her own foundation, and she wanted to auction off the US Constitution. Like literally it's mind-blowing to me. But these crypto dudes and blockchain girls and everyone else thought it would be fun to own that and decide what happens to it. And I pitched in the equivalent of $50 in Ether on Monday. And then I was just like, this could be fun. And then it kind of, I think their goal was to raise 30 million US
Originally
dollars.
20.
Originally 20. Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, they raised 46 in the end, I think.
That's crazy.
Hold on. They raised 46. Wait, if they raised 46, I thought that we lost at 43 or 44.
We lost at 41, and the reason why was they took into account like the upkeep of it, and they couldn't like 40 was the most they could go.
Because the extra $6 million wasn't enough for upkeep?
Yeah, basically. They did like a whole thing. They explained it in the Discord that like, and here's the thing: is like they could have probably just said, "Hey, we need more money to upkeep it," and like people would have thrown.
Well,
they would be a little silly.
If they would have asked me to throw another, I threw 0.1 in because I just wanted to be a part of it, and I would have thrown another 0.1 in. I would have doubled my investment.
Yeah, they didn't plan for that. I think when especially because they tipped their hand to everyone. Hey, we have. They stopped showing how much they had at 40 million, so they ended up at like 46. But it was like, okay, this thing is supposed to be going for 20, and like you drove it up. Probably someone like an Elon Musk bid privately on it just because he's like, whatever. It's like $20 to him, and like it's like that's an issue here with DAOs is like you have to have some configurable where you could like theoretically, I don't want to say capital call because that's not the right word, but like. You like, hey, click a button and donate a little bit more because we're going to lose the auction, while it's going up. Like, people were watching it on Sotheby's YouTube account live. I would have easily gone to my MetaMask and doubled the amount I put in instantly.
I could be mistaken, and maybe you guys might know more about this. I saw an update from Alton Insights, which does fractional, like assesses the fractional market. I believe Rally Road came out today saying they have another one, and there's going to be shares on the open market starting at a $2 million valuation. I think they acquired to that. So, like, am I wrong on that? Does anyone know the deal there?
I did not see that. They acquired another constitution?
So let me check to make sure. So on Twitter, there's an account that I follow. I know the team at Alton Insights that they cover the fractional market. So like all of the different, checking it right now actually. So all the different fractional platforms from Rally Road. I was actually the first one. I don't know if you know this, Murray. I was the first one to securitize and fractionally and sell fractional shares of a CryptoPunk. I did it on Otis.
Oh, I saw that. I bid on that.
Yeah. So I
have a stake in that.
Yep. So yeah, then we're punk. We have we're like punk Eskimo brothers. I don't know how I don't know if there's a word for it yet, but this one. Okay, so at 12 p.m. Eastern on Rally Road, will IPO a Declaration of Independence. The financials, market cap $2 million. This is going to probably sell out in 30 seconds. Price per share $25. 80,000 total shares. This broadside copy is one of only 26 examples known to exist. I think that because of the valuation, they probably bought this a while back. $2 million was the acquisition cost. Who knows?
At noon today?
At noon today, they're going to IPO the Declaration of Independence, 80,000 shares. We now know that the $2 million they spent to purchase this is about 20x under market, if we consider the new market value, what was just recently purchased.
Drew, do you mind putting the link or the tweet or whatever in the private chat on StreamYard, and then I can share it with people watching?
Sure, I'll do that right now.
So just for reference, noon Friday, November 19th means 5 p.m. in London, 6 p.m. in Germany, so 18 Uhr, and 9 a.m. Pacific time.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Really
good.
Inclusive.
Pretty good. Maybe like carry the two.
I'm used to doing that from stuff. So
yeah, there we go. Which we also let's talk about at a later date too. We got some stuff going on that front also.
Yeah. So why don't you? I mean, we just mentioned the Constitution DAO that tried to buy the Constitution. Why don't you guys try and explain to the people what a DAO is, what the letters stand for, and what's really happening in that space right now?
Alex, do it up, buddy.
Yeah. So DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, and a good way to think about it is community 1.0 is call it IRL. So it was geo focused. It was, what sports team you were born to root for, what religion. So your local synagogue, your local church, your local mosque, your local club. That's 1.0. Then 2.0 is call it URL. Right? So URL is Discord, Facebook groups, Twitter groups, LinkedIn groups, Reddit, basically interests, and geographic didn't matter. And sort of community 3.0 is a DAO, and think of it as OURS, ours. So it's ownership. So a DAO is basically the most simple way to think about it is imagine you and 9 other friends, so 10 people combined, all contributed $100 into a shared bank account, right? And then you had $1,000 in there, and you said, okay, what should we use this money to do? And people in the group made proposals. Hey, we should go out to a really fancy sushi dinner, and in New York, right? And you're in the group, you're in New York. Yeah, I like sushi. I vote yes. But maybe there's 2, 3 people, 4 people. Maybe there's 6 people that are based in Los Angeles or Miami or SF, and they're I'm not gonna. My money, I don't want to be used for you guys to go out to dinner in New York where I can't benefit from it. So they vote against it. So essentially, what a DAO is it is a shared wallet and proposals and voting on how to use that money. Now, a lot of people think DAOs are a future replacement or a current replacement for an LLC or a corporation, and that is possible. A lot of the legal around that is very murky right now. It's very gray. Could you have a DAO instead of a corporation? Do you also need to wrap it inside of a corporation? There's a lot of question marks around it. There's also pulling money together for investments. you know, like it sort of skates along the lines of like a security. So there's a lot of question marks around what a DAO is, but there's also non-investment DAOs. Like think about, I want to pull together money. Like for example, one of the things we're going to do on Upstream is in the early birds community, which is one of the main communities, we're going to pull together money to like get amazing speakers. Like we're going to go after like the Elon Musks of the world and the Sheryl Sandbergs of the world, because we'll pull together, you know, $1 million. Maybe we'll drop an NFT and sell that and use the proceeds to just like go and do amazing events and amazing speakers, and something that like think of it as like a paid community that you join, you know, like you pay $500 to join, you know, I don't know, what are those like paid communities that like, you know, people
Soho House,
yeah, whatever, like Soho House, or even like
being a United
YPP
member or something,
or is it YPP? I don't know, what one of those groups. So anyway, ultimately DAOs are really fascinating, and a lot of people believe that just like 2019 was like sort of like DeFi season, 2020 was like DeFi season, 2021 was NFT season. A lot of people think that like DAO is like 2022, and a lot of people think that the Constitution DAO is sort of a little bit like the NBA Top Shot moment that happened in like December, January, February of this past year. So I think, you know, it's exciting. It's also exciting to be in that space right now, officially as of yesterday. So, you know, we launched a product that is basically like a sort of a DAO evolved. I was calling it a DAO in a box, but our lawyers are like, yeah, I don't know if you should say it that way. Whatever. We basically are like right now, if you want to, and I'll stop after this, but right now, if you want to, there's two important things about DAOs. One is when we were going out and looking for DAOs to join, when we were starting to build this product, you either need to be very technical and understand how to interact with a contract, which most people don't, or you had to have a lot of money, because things like Pleaser DAO and Flamingo DAO, which are popular DAOs that exist, they were treating them like corporations. So you had to be accredited, you had to go through KYC, you only could be like under 100 people. There was like all these different rules. So there weren't many DAOs you could really join. So we felt like there's an opportunity for sort of like a more consumerized DAO product that didn't require any technical skills, that essentially you can have I hate saying it, but like a no-code DAO. I just hate using the word like no code. I feel like it's too buzzwordy. But yeah, like not needing to know how to code. The second thing is DAOs are really fragmented right now. So to even spin up a DAO, A, you need a little bit of technical prowess to actually do it. But B, there's a lot of tools you need to use. So there's governance that's usually done on Aragon. There's you know, voting that's done on Snapshot. There's token gating that's Collabland, and all these are great companies. But there's like, you know, the treasury that's done on Juicebox. There's you know, a bunch of others. The communities on Discord. Basically, it's just really fragmented, and we felt like we had this opportunity to centralize it in one place. Because like the decentralized aspect of a DAO is not like the tools to do it; it's the actual ownership of it. So it was just like, you know, having it in a lot of places. You know, yeah, you want the best tools possible, but like there aren't that many tools for each thing, so there's not like really a best tool possible yet. So anyway, that's my long dirty on what a DAO is.
Love it. I think maybe not everyone watching this has heard of DAOs. I would actually guess that maybe 5% or so, given that I'm streaming this to my Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Maybe 5% of people I know have heard of a DAO. I hadn't heard of a DAO until
I was at a dinner in Miami with tech people, like legit VCs, founders, and I asked everyone, how many here own crypto, like any crypto coin? It was 8 out of 10, which I think is, you know, the world is probably like 2 out of 10. So like 8 out of 10 is really high. And I think there was a journalist or two at the table. So like, you know, maybe they didn't feel like they could, or maybe they were just didn't know. Then I asked how many people own an NFT, and it was 3 out of 10, which I think is, again, I think probably 1 out of 10 in the regular world, maybe not even 1 out of 10. It's probably like 0.5 out of 10. And then I asked how many people are in DAO in any capacity. And it was just me. and Drew and I are in this thing called League DAO, and that was literally like nobody else on the table has been in the DAO. So I think it's even 5%. It's like 0.5%, 0.05% of people are in DAOs.
It's also not easy, like Alex was saying. It's just not. There's a lot of friction. Like we are, our goal with Knights of Degen is to ultimately become a DAO in the long term, to tokenize and become a DAO. And we are making sure that we do it the most compliant way, and that we kind of button it up and do it the right way. We have a bunch of, we're not an anon project with a bunch of people that don't, we all put our identity out there. We have founders and we have like tech founders and celebrities and athletes and entertainers. So we just want to make sure we do it the right way. And there is a lot of friction involved. And there's lots of different there are different ways to kind of structure it and to approach it. And, some want to tokenize, some want to fractionalize. There's just a lot of ways you can approach it. So, we're going through that process as well, but it is our goal over the long term is to ultimately open up governance to the Knights of Degen community, so that we can run as a decentralized organization. And we're actually kind of starting internally as a team, because we actually started as a centralized group, of course, because we want to build up the team and the project, which I still think is the right way in many cases, is to start centralized and decentralize over time, like Super Rare did. But we're taking processes internally to implement voting, even in our 10-person team, so that we can start to get into the behaviors of operating like a DAO, so that at the point when we actually are ready, we've built up some foundational processes. We've seen some things that have worked and not. We run through voting processes in our Discord to get people to participate in some decision making already. So, that's kind of been the start of it. So, but it's not an easy process. You'll see it's on Bored Apes roadmap. It's on a lot of people's roadmap, and everyone's kind of just trying to figure it out right now.
Yeah, Drew, actually with Knights of Degen, I think that could be really accessible for people, because, you guys are a community, particularly from what I gather so far from my first week as a member. You guys are a community of sports lovers. There's a lot of basketball discussion, fantasy football, soccer, NBA, NCAA, international soccer. I mean, and you just mentioned Discord. Can you explain to people what Discord is, how they can get involved, and then maybe just about Knights of Degen and Degen in general?
Sure, of course. So, so first, Discord is basically the community hub of a lot of the all these NFT projects. NFT projects are as successful as the communities that support them. And the town hall of these communities right now happens to be Discord. Now, granted, do I think Discord is necessarily the perfect answer to what we're all trying to find here as town halls for many of our communities? I mean, I can't keep up with, I'm in probably 100 Discords right now, and really the only one that I keep up with is Knights of Degen at this point, because I just cannot keep up with 100 of them. So there's definitely some constraints and limitations. Also, there are spam issues and scam issues. So people need to be safe and smart and not click any links when people message them and stuff like that on Discord. But Discord is where the communities engage. It's where they interact. It's where they post their announcements. It's where the communities come together and talk about the topics and shared interests they have that brought them together to begin with. So, Discord plays a major role in how these ecosystems are built. Knights of Degen specifically is a community that we started with for people kind of ourselves. I'm a sports fan. I'm a sports bettor. I'm a speculator. I like to invest on NFTs. I invest in stocks and crypto, and I sit there. I'm in a bunch of different messaging groups where we're all talking about different speculative ideas on where to place action and where to make investments and startups or whatever. So we said let's build a community around this concept. There wasn't really many sports oriented NFT projects, which was kind of surprising actually. And we also thought hey, we can kind of bridge the gap a little bit between. I've always been this kind of person who is stuck in between two worlds. There was always the the sports bro community, and then there was the fantasy geek nerd tech community, and I always found myself dead in the center. I could participate in both, but they never really merged. There was most people were either sports or either tech nerd, fantasy culture. And And we thought with like NFTs, the Knights of Degen and the lore and the fantasy story behind it and the sports foundation, we can kind of put this community together that like brings the people like ourselves, gives us all a home to kind of geek out on both sports and fantasy and tech. So that was like kind of the foundational level. We have an amazing team involved, which I thought was really important to start from the very beginning. We wanted to really make sure that we were not an anonymous team, that we put ourselves out there and we're I think it's really important to put yourself out there and be accountable to your community, to show that like you can't just rug a project and go and be like, oh, I'm taking the money and running, because your reputation's on the line, which I think holds something there. And we have some really great people involved. I started it up with Jared Augustine. He's the founder of Thuzio, and another tech founder like myself. But we have, people like Jack Settleman involved, who's a major influencer in the fantasy sports and sports betting world. Tiki Barber and Rondé Barber are involved. Cynthia Froyland's involved from NFL Network. Blake Jameson is the creative head and the artist who's voted, #1 sports artist of the year. We just have an amazingly like complete team of people that can all contribute in a variety of different ways to the long-term vision of the project. And now, we're on OpenSea, where, you can buy the NFTs. I think I truly believe we're one of the more undervalued with like still substantial upside of an NFT project, because, we're still relatively new. The project's been live for about 6 weeks. So it's early, but we've done a lot. We've acquired a football team. For those who don't know, like when I say football, like real American, football.
Real. I want to cancel you, Drew, for that comment.
I know. I just can't. I'm really struggling, because I'm actually starting to get into like soccer. I'm trying to get into soccer right now, because I'm. And when people are like, "You mean football?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't get there, man. Like, football is football, soccer, soccer. I can't do it."
I feel you.
But anyway, so we actually acquired a football team. There's a football league that started last year called Fan Controlled Football, which is a completely like fan. Literally, the name says it all. The fans pick the coaches, they pick the players, they vote on the plays. We are in the scouting. We're at the combine. We're scouting players. We're voting on everything, and the league expanded from 4 teams to 8 teams this year, and the 4 new teams are going to be NFT community driven teams. So 888 and Steve Aoki took one team, and the Knights of Degen acquired another team, and now like we are going to be running a football organization, like legitimately running a football organization, and I'm really excited about that. So the community kind of owns that team now with us. So that'll be really cool. And we just, we have real estate in the metaverse, where we were the first community to have, property actually in Wilder World. We're going to have the first tavern in Wilder World, which is an incredible 3D metaverse. We also have some other announcements coming about our properties in the metaverse. We're really focusing on media and content, because we have a lot of great personalities. So, we do a Knicks post-game show. We're coming out with a weekly show around what's happening in the kingdom of the Knights of Degen. And, we're going to be doing like a sports betting show eventually. And we're going to have a dedicated show and coverage around fan-controlled football. And there might be another sport coming, and we might have a presence in Europe coming up soon. So I can't say much yet, because it's not finalized yet, but we do have a bid in, so that's exciting on another sport. I'll say that.
Nice. I dropped this question here below, because I think this might be one for Alex and for Drew, for you as well. For people who haven't heard of NBA Top Shots, but who are watching the Mavericks from Germany since the 90s because of Dirk Nowitzki, or are Knicks fans since they went to Madison Square Garden once on their once-in-a-lifetime trip to New York, or Americans who love Chelsea because of Christian Pulisic, or love Dortmund because of Gio Reyna. Can you help them? Maybe this person is a girl who liked collecting World Cup cards, Panini cards when she was little, or like, what can these people do to better understand the space that we're talking about and maybe get involved?
I mean, the number one thing is get your hands dirty. Like, I mean, you got to get in there and play the games, like, and get and participate. So, like, NBA Top Shot was I think probably the biggest driver of new users, of unique users into the NFT space of any NFT project ever. And it's because there's so many NBA sports fans. I've been preaching crypto to my friends since 2013. I bought my first NFT on Super Rare 2018. It took me till 2021 and NBA Top Shot around January till people first started to listen and say, oh, this is really cool, I'm buying an NFT. And then that opened up the floodgates to everything else. So Rare is another one in the soccer world that's really big. And then there's like a lot of other pop-up projects that come out. Alex, can you think of any off the top of your head? Any others?
Wait, don't we have a striker? Don't we have a Neymar?
It was one of the first sports NFTs.
Yeah. We have something pretty rare, actually.
Yeah, we do. So we have in some of the early days there were some really early sports NFTs. Like there were some rare Pepes. That's like a meme that became one of the earliest NFTs.
Is that the frog?
Yeah, it's the frog and the frog. So one of the I don't know, like don't quote me 100% on this, but I believe the Michael Jordan rare Pepe is the first ever sports NFT to my knowledge.
There's a Michael Jordan frog.
Oh yeah. There's all different ones. Like I have like a Notorious B.I.G. rare Pepe. I have a bunch of rare Pepe. So like rare Pepe is all about like kind of like connecting with the culture. So they put this frog in different like cultural icons and cultural representations, etc. And I'm pretty sure that the Michael Jordan one is the first sports ones, but there's all different ones. I'm looking, there's like a Marie Curie, there's like all different types of, I'm just like looking at the ones that's coming up right now, but there's a ton of different rare Pepe NFTs, but something like the sports. And so there's been a lot of instances where sports and NFTs overlap. And even there's professional athletes like Michael Carter-Williams, like is an NBA basketball player who's launching an NFT project right now called Players Only, which is like a player run NFT project. And if you're a NFL football fan, like Des Bryant has a community and a project going on. And not all the professional athletes are able to make a smooth jump, but the ones that really spend time and invest in the communities and really are like really trying to understand the space there and really like dig in and participate, etc. They're able to kind of make a leap and really make a dent in the ecosystem and bring more people into the space overall. And I think that's all of our goal at the end of the day is to like, it's really like the rising tide raises all boats kind of thing where, all of our goals, our mutual goals are to bring more and more people into Web3. So, I'm always a believer on any project that can do that.
Nice. Alex, what about you? Do you own any NBA Top Shot moments or
I own a few.
NFTs?
Yeah,
I own a few. Yeah, I mean, like Drew said, you really got to get your hands dirty. I think even before you get your hands dirty, you need to understand some like fundamental stuff, like how to set up a MetaMask account, how to get money in there. But like NBA Top Shot, you can use credit card. So like, go find your favorite player and buy the cheapest moment, and just like experience it, or try to buy a pack and see what the experience of opening it. Drew tried to get me to buy a pack in like December of last year. I was like, I don't know. And it's like, just do it and experience it, and then you'll understand it. And I grew up with baseball and basketball cards, huge Knick fan. Pokemon, I still have a complete first set of Gen 1 Pokemon somewhere in my parents' house, which I cannot find. I know it's there. I know what the thing looks like. They never throw anything out. It's there. I just don't know where it is. I had like Charizard, Mewtwo. I had the whole group. They might not be in the best condition, but they're there. So once I bought the NBA Top Shot pack in the opening, and it just you understand, you start to be like, oh, okay, I get it. So I would first like learn some of this stuff. What is a MetaMask account? What is Ethereum? How do I buy something? How do I use NBA Top Shot? How do I what project should I buy? What project should I avoid? A lot of this stuff is just like being in communities and talking to people and just like spending time in it. And if you're a curious person, you'll learn a lot.
Yeah. And you guys, you did something very big yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways it could be a really good thing to start off with people new to the space. Do you wanna talk about what happened yesterday and explain that?
Yeah, sure. So we launched something called the Upstream Collective, which is essentially, ability for a community to pool money together, and then collectively decide what to do with it. So essentially, it is a DAO. And the way we approached it was like in phases, or it will be in phases. Phase one is just like, okay, we've built this front end experience that people can use. It's a smart contract. You don't actually need us. If you are technical enough, you could just, create the DAO, create the collective, and then just go talk to the smart contract and interact with it. Deposit money into it, take money. You could do all that stuff. You don't really need us if you're technically advanced. What this product for is for sort of the more long tail people who don't necessarily know how to interact with the contract. The other thing that we say, like when you come and agree to it, you aren't coming in to use it for investment purposes. We will have a product for that. Think of it like Angel List for pooling money together. The thing is, if you want to use it for that type of stuff, so let's say Drew's like, all right, we figured out the entity and everything for Knights of Degen. We know it's going to be a governance token. We made a, corporation. I'm making this up, but like we made a corporation in like ENS domains made in the Cayman Islands. That's the place to do it. Yada, yada, yada. We figured it out. In theory, they can just use our front end and say, hey, listen, we have all the stuff figured out. We have in the right entities. We did everything. We just want to use you so we have a place for people to vote on stuff, for the governance, to hold the treasury, all that stuff. We just don't want to have to build that from scratch, and we don't want to have it fragmented across the world. So eventually there will be two types of things. There'll be like investments, non-investment stuff, but there'll also be people coming in that like want to start their collective, their DAO, and people who want to bring over their collective or DAO. You won't necessarily have to, for example, I'm working on an NFT project with a few friends. It's going to come out in mid-December. And there's going to be a pretty big treasury. And that treasury, we're basically half of the mint is going into a treasury. That treasury is going to be brought over as a collective. And then we're going to issue a token to everybody. And it's going to be the equivalent of the money that you basically put into the project. And then we're going to do a lot of fun, cool secret society stuff with it. It's not an investment vehicle, but it's okay. Even as not an investment vehicle, the value can go up. ENS value has gone up. I think it's having a really good day today. But it's governance ultimately. I actually don't know what it is, but someone on Twitter said ENS is going to the moon right now. So I don't know. Maybe Drew sees it.
I'm checking right
now. Drew's looking. He's like, wait, I have a lot of ENS tokens.
It's up about 20%, but I think it's still off of its like real crazy run.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is like you can come in and set it all up yourself. Like eventually they'll be like, hey, okay, you want to use this for investment purposes. Mm-hmm. Do you have all the things you need to do this properly? The answer, and if you do, give us X, Y, and Z. So like we have it and we can just be like, we feel comfortable with, you've done it. Or do you not have the thing and you need to set it up? Okay, well, we're not doing it. We're not holding your money. Upstream doesn't hold your money. It's in a collective. It's in a DAO. It's in a multi-sig wallet that the group has access to. We don't. We're just like this, pretty front end for you. But it's like, okay, well, we can't make you a corporation, but like we have a partner or like a third party that like we can bring you to that does Cayman Island, domain or Wyoming LLC or whatever it is. Like, so we're going to think of it as like, eventually there'll be, I don't want to say a marketplace or an app store, but there'll be like tools along the way to make sure that you can do things and set them up in the most compliant ways possible. And so we're putting it on the people to sort of figure out what they want to do. If they want to take the risk of not doing that stuff, that's on them. If they, if they don't want to do that and they want to set it up, well, I think in the next 3 months, people will figure out exactly the right entities and stuff to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
So I got this last question here. And then maybe as a last question, I was wondering if I could ask you guys something fun. So I'm thinking maybe either favorite sports team or favorite TV show. But before we get to the fun, this is, the carrot and the stick to keep people tuned in. Can you help out someone who's new to this?
Literally today, you should come at 1:00. Drew and I, every Friday at 1:00, Drew and I talk for an hour on Upstream, and we talk about different projects that we're looking at. We talk about different things that we're doing today. We're obviously going to talk a little bit about the collective and then just other projects.
We bring on creators of projects. You get to hear about, what it's like from the inside. But what I, everywhere I go, honestly, in the NFT space, people kind of say like, hey, I really thanks for this show that you and Alex do. It's gotten me into NFTs. Like, it's really, we kind of, honestly, we go into every meeting almost without a plan, and we just kind of like we do what we do in our Twitter group chats and all of our text messages where we just like talk about NFTs. We just do it with a lot of people watching, and that's literally that's it. But it's a good conversation for people that are like that are really just trying to understand and learn and find out about new projects, etc.
Yeah, and then I would say the other thing is on Upstream, we've had events for the last 2.5 months, knowing we were going into this space. We've had events over the last 2.5 months where it's like part 1 to part 10 of like setting up your MetaMask, OpenSea, Discord. It basically, and I had guests along the way to talk about the different topics. So if you go to our YouTube channel on Upstream, we recorded all of them. So obviously they passed, but we recorded them, and I would say like just watch them, and like I think Marie, like maybe it was you, maybe someone else told me like the setting up the MetaMask video was like how they set up their MetaMask, and like that's I would say that's specifically on YouTube. I think we have like the first 6 of them, and then there's more. We have another one. We did one this week with Gabby Goldberg from the Chernin Group about Web3, and then on Tuesday we have LG from the First Mint talking about airdrops, and then we're just like basically scheduling out every week another interesting event, a different topic that people want to know more about.
Nice. And favorite TV show and sports team? Drew, you first.
Oh, favorite sports team is very easy for me. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. Like
really?
Yeah, since I was a kid, I can't even remember anything. Like, honestly, I think my earliest memories are Knicks fan memories.
Are you from New York?
I'm from New York, born and raised.
Okay.
I've literally lived all over New York. I grew up in Long Island. I lived in Manhattan. I live in Brooklyn. I have a place upstate in Warwick. I went to college in Syracuse. Like, I've been I'm just a New Yorker through and through. So yeah, diehard Knicks fan. Yankees and Giants are my other 2 teams as well. Favorite TV show? That's a good one. The most recent show I just watched was that show You. I just finished that.
It's pretty messed up.
It's a freaky show.
That makes me so uncomfortable when I watch it.
It is really. It's a weird show, but it was fun.
It's good.
It's a good binge show. Let's see, what else have I really liked? I'm just looking up like shows to watch and top shows. Hold on, I'm gonna just rattle off some really good ones really quickly. Let's see. So top shows. Let's see here. What else have I really? I'm a big sci-fi guy. I really like sci-fi. So I tend to like gravitate towards shows like that. I'm trying to see which was like some that I've, I liked Westworld. I'm just looking at some of the ones that come up. I liked Upload. I liked Altered Carbon.
Stranger Things.
How was
Stranger Things?
Was season 2 of Altered Carbon any good?
I hadn't watched it. I've watched only first season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I'm seeing what else. I'm a big like. What's my next show that I'm going to watch, and I'm behind on it, and most people are like already have watched it. I'm behind on Succession. I haven't watched Succession yet.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
This season is that was going to be my answer.
Yep.
This season, these last 4 episodes have been chef, like, wow.
I'm so excited.
I'm not even up to those yet, but Succession, I think what gets me, the first 2 episodes of it.
Succession this season, the last 3 to 4 episodes have been the best episodes in the whole show.
Wow.
By a mile.
Yeah.
By a mile. Like, it is ramping up.
A show that I really enjoyed recently that I liked was The Morning Show with Jennifer Aniston.
Yes, I just started watching the new episode this morning, and then I was like, you gotta get ready for the episode.
Fantastic. I'm just I'm looking at these lists right now. Handmaid's Tale I loved. I thought that was good. Peaky Blinders I loved. I really enjoyed Squid Game. I thought that was fun.
Squid Game's good.
This is literally, Drew, this is the reason for my New Year's resolution. I'm deleting Facebook and Instagram. And everyone is like, oh, Marie, that's so political. And I'm like, that's not why. I'm deleting it so I can fully focus on watching TV shows.
No, honestly though, like I say this to my wife all the time. So like when we watch shows together, like she like has her phone in her hand and like she's always like half paying attention on the shows we watch because she's like checking Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And it's like it's such a bad way to watch TV. You gotta get it.
There's some shows I watch where I'm fully focused on. There's nothing else. I shut everything off. And there's some shows I watch where it's like, you have half my attention.
Yeah, I
sort
agree.
of like that line from the Social Network movie. It's like my other half of my attention is focused on other things.
Yeah.
In terms of sports, for me, I'm also a very big Knicks fan. Until I recently, when I got this just DAO hat, I wore a Knick hat my entire life.
Yeah.
Born and raised in Manhattan, went to '90s Knicks games. I remember a real like scarring memory of getting in trouble when I was younger, and my dad was going to 3 rows behind the Bulls bench with Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, Knicks playoff game, and he took my brother, who has no interest at all in any sports, and because I got in trouble. So I like, that was like one of the saddest memories growing up. It's like I missed that game. But Knicks, Yankees, Rangers, Giants. That's also everything I'm about. And then TV shows, I would say Succession was going to be my number one, just because it's so good right now. But I would say up there is Curb. I'm a very big Curb fan. This season has been very funny. This past it's only 3 episodes or 4 episodes in, but Larry David is he's on another level. I watch a lot of TV though. So, you know what? I like the show that's on NBC right now, or Fox. I think it's on NBC or Fox. I watch it on Hulu. La Brea. It's not bad.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. It was on my list for a while.
It's not bad. It's like, it has like very much like
those I struggle with the cheesy like network television shows these days.
Yeah, it's got there is definitely cheesy aspects of it, but it's got what was that show that was canceled? That where the plane disappears for 2 years and then comes back.
Oh yeah, that is insane.
What was that show?
Yeah, I watched the first season.
Manifest.
Yeah, that's the first
has
season.
A lot of, it's like Manifest, Lost. My all-time favorite show was Lost.
I loved it. That was one of my favorite shows of all time.
Okay, I was like such a fan that I made my mom, my sister, and my wife and myself, we flew to Los Angeles to watch we got tickets to the penultimate episode of the last season, and we got to watch it with the entire cast and the composer at UCLA. We got tickets. They weren't like crazy expensive, but we flew in for 24 hours. I got to watch the Man in Black episode, like the real like story, a week before everyone else, which was better than the last episode. Yeah. And yeah, that was my
a really cool experience.
And I have somewhere in my house, I think I still have it. The ticket was an Oceanic ticket for the event.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
It was really special. So Lost was my favorite show. I actually also met for 2 seconds on a New York subway Michael Emerson, who played Ben Linus. Yeah. And he was creepier in real life than on the show.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So
all right, I got one more challenge, and then I'll let you get on with your Friday. This is
explain NFTs in 30 seconds. NFTs are basically digital content that has now scarce ownership. So like I've been a collectible owner my whole entire life, from sports cards to action figures to autographs to artwork, etc. With digital content and digital assets, there's been no way to say, hey, here's a legitimate certificate of authenticity to be able to say there's this many of this edition or this many of these assets that exist. And now on the blockchain, everything is transparent. You know, how many of an item was produced, you know, who owned it before you, who owned it after. So to me, it gives you it brings scarcity to digital content and digital assets, making an entirely new asset class, which are NFTs. And I ultimately think that everything will be tokenized and everything will be a non-fungible token in the future, from our contracts we sign in business to real estate contracts to like anything that can be documented and needs to be kind of immutable in that sense, and have like records and trace, even like logistics and supply chain, have things actually gone through the proper organic processes. All of those types of things I think will eventually be tokenized on the blockchain.
That was more than 30 seconds, Drew.
Yeah, I know.
All right. I'm gonna do it in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right. So, and you could time me. A DAO is a community with a shared wallet, and the members contribute funds and vote on proposals to take actions together.
Oh, that was 8 seconds. I was counting in my head.
That was good.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive, guys.
I've been working on what a DAO is for a little bit right now, so I've got it down to cold 8 seconds.
All right, guys. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say to the people watching?
I mean, I'll just kind of, I definitely think that if you're a new NFT holder, come check out Knights of Degen. I think it's a great project, great community with a huge upside, and it's really exciting what we have going on. I also have an AngelList syndicate for accredited investors called Redbeard Ventures. The beard was a lot longer back when I started it, but if you're interested in building up an AngelList portfolio, investing in startups, that's a great place to start. And then we're launching Red Pill Ventures, which is my new fund that's coming soon. We'll probably start investing out of that fund in December. So yeah, a lot going on. We opened an NFT art gallery in Brooklyn. So if you're in Brooklyn, feel free to stop by. It's called Minty Garden. And we got some really cool stuff going on.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I would just say that definitely join up.
Check out our 1 o'clock Upstream show today.
Yeah. Come to our 1 o'clock Upstream show, because we do that every Friday and it's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I would say join Upstream because it's super fun. Join the collective and experience it, because we're going to eventually do just only collective only stuff, collective only events, collective only communication, etc. So it's definitely worth being in that. And then I think if you're coming to Miami for Art Basel, we're going to be doing a bunch of events. So Upstream, we have 2 happy hours going on. I'm going to do a barbecue at my house. Drew's been to one of them. He knows I take my meat very, very, very seriously.
He does.
If you're coming to Miami for Art Basel, definitely look on Upstream. There's one event in the Miami tech community and then one event in the NFT community. And it's Tuesday and Thursday, and it's going to be super fun.
Awesome. I booked my flights this morning. I'm still figuring out where I'm going to sleep, but I might have a colleague of my dad who might be able to hook me up. So fingers crossed.
If you need help, I can. Wait, Drew, aren't you in a place that like has a bunch of rooms or something? Isn't someone rented out a hotel?
No, we didn't rent out a hotel. We just got rooms a long time ago. So it was funny. We booked Art Basel with like 5 guys, being like, "Hey guys, this was like a year ago during COVID. We're like, we need a trip. Let's like get a trip on the calendar." And then it turned out then all of a sudden, Art Basel became from a friend trip to now a completely like a work trip for me. Like I have 3 events. I'm working on events. I'm going to partners. So it completely changed what I thought. I thought I was going to go see art, hey, let's go experience art. It's just not. It's not that anymore.
Yeah, it's hard because I think so. One of my friends from Miami warned me that there are a lot of Airbnb scams during Art Basel because hotels are obviously jacking up prices, and I think I'll find something, hopefully through a friend of a friend or that type of.
You'll find something.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Marie, congratulations on the new show. Good luck with it. If you ever need us back on or want us back on, we're happy to participate and support.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in 2 hours on Upstream.
All right. See you soon. All right.
Bye, guys.